Among many other things, ADHD can be really difficult on relationships. It can be something that causes problems even 20 years into a relationship or a marriage. It's something where a spouse can be learning things over and over and over about their spouse and not really recognizing that it's a part of the way that the ADHD brain is actually put together. And so here's a few things that may help with some understanding that these things probably have to do with your ADHD. Inattention and forgetfulness. Oftentimes, it can be really, really difficult to be in a relationship with somebody that is completely forgetful. I've had ADHD all my life, and specifically at times when I feel stressed, I have a hard time retaining information. I have a hard time remembering even conversations that I've had recently. When I'm reminded of them, then I remember that I had them and I can do something with that. But I know for myself, when I don't write down action items out of the conversations that I'm having, the likelihood is I'm going to forget. And that can be incredibly annoying and also invalidating to the people that we are in relationships with. So, one of the solutions to this is to make sure that you are keeping a really strong calendar, that you have reminders on your phone to do specific things, and that you are building a routine into your life where you're not forgetting things. You're laying out things maybe the night before so that you don't forget to do certain things, because we just get caught up in whatever the theme of the day is and we forget to do things. Impulsivity and interruptions are also an important thing that happens with us. We tend to get ourselves so excited about one idea or another, and that impulsivity interrupts thought processes, interrupts in the middle of when you're having a conversation, and it can be really super obnoxious to the people that we are in relationships with, because we don't resolve this part of the conversation before we move on to that part of the conversation. Practice self awareness and take a pause before speaking. Remember what it was that you guys were all talking about before you jump in and completely derail a conversation and go a different way. That derailing a conversation to go a different way, it leaves issues unresolved, and it can be really difficult for people to follow the conversation. Another thing, number three, is emotional dysregulation. We tend to get really irritable. We can get really irritable really fast. Sometimes it happens in the professional workspace when things are going in a direction that we're not comfortable with. And it can also happen in the home where something is happening that is diverting our attention, or it's very distracting, or there's a piece of noise or something like that that's occurring that can make us really, really cranky. I notice this in people around me who have ADHD, and they can get downright mean and irritable. Have a mindfulness practice that you're doing on a regular basis that is getting your attention back into yourself. The reason that you're getting irritable is because you have so many thoughts going around all the time. You're kind of fragmented. You're kind of a little bit like a stained glass window, and you've got all this different stuff going on. You need to put yourself back inside yourself so that you can follow a single track conversation and not be all over the place. Because when you're all over the place, you're more likely to have problems with irritability. Difficulty with organization and time management. This can be really, really hard on the relationships that you have, because people are expecting you to at least be in proximity of on time and reasonably prepared for what it is that comes next. If you, for instance, are a professional and you can't limit your phone calls to shorter periods of time because you get impulsively into the conversation, you literally, and when I was a CEO, I had to do this. I had to set a timer on my desk and tell people at the beginning of the call, I've got 10 minutes here, so let's get right to it. And it was something that was really effective for me because I would see the countdown of things, and then I was able to move on quicker in my mind, and I wasn't getting myself way deeper into something than I needed to be. Your organization, that means the organization of your desk, your spaces, your bedtime routines, all of these different things are going to be things that help you be more calm, more in the moment, and be able to handle your life better. This is going to make you a better partner for the person in your life. Hyper focus and non-relationship things we can get ourselves so into. And boy, oh boy, one of the biggest things that's so hard for people who have attention problems is video games and scrolling. It's something that hits our dopamine so hard, we're just doing hit after hit after hit on non-relationship building things. It can really help if you have projects that you're doing with your significant other. Right now, my wife and I, we're planning a trip and we're doing this together and talking about the kinds of things that we want to experience along the way. Another thing that I assign couples to do who are dealing with issues with one is neurodivergent and one is not is puzzles are cool. Also, Legos are great as a thing to do together because it's not about the Lego, it's not about the puzzle. It's about the conversation that you're having in the midst of doing it. It's about the cooperation that the two of you have together in the relationship. And so, if you can use that hyper focus to be interested in something that the two of you can do together, that's going to help facilitate the growth and the togetherness of that relationship. Also, rejection sensitivity and dysphoria. This is a real deal. Look, those of us who have ADHD, we have experienced rejection after rejection after rejection, going all the way back to preschool. And it never gets easier. It never is something that you can just kind of feel okay with. And so, number one is having some self awareness about how that stuff can really harm you and enrage you. Self compassion is very, very important in this, knowing that sometimes we get rejected and it's not our fault. Communication with your partners is important for when you feel rejected or judged. And if those things are things that you need to speak about, talk to a friendly neighborhood therapist about it. I'll take you if you're in California. I can also do coaching anywhere in the world. Also, communication challenges. ADHD can affect communication, leading to many misunderstandings. The likelihood is that you don't necessarily take in information in the way that it was intended. Sometimes you hear only part of the information and you are paying attention to something else towards the end of the sentence. Sometimes you need to ask people to repeat what they said so that you understand exactly what it was that they meant. It's really a good thing to get yourself into couples therapy because oftentimes the therapist can do a really good job of helping you understand more about what you're missing in these things or about what somebody else is missing in what you're trying to say. And you're just not doing a really terrific job of communicating those things. These 7 things are things that can affect relationships in a major way. And look, I'd love to chat with you about anything that I might be able to help you with. Go to mindfulmutiny.com and schedule a free consultation with me. I'd love to get on the phone with you and have a conversation about things that we can help improve in your life. Now go be something great.